Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world. The longer you live, the more you will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and futility.
If I may, I'd like to pose an interesting question. Are all human beings truly equal? These days, everywhere you go, there's talk about the fight for equality. As a wise man once said, heaven does not create one person above or below another. People like to throw his words around. That's not the whole quote. He goes on to say that while we are all equal at birth, pretty soon things begin to change. Academic effort is what sets some people apart to rise above the others. At any rate, humans change over time based on their actions. Truth be told, at the end of the day, equality is just a fantasy. And most of us go through life denying the fact that we live in a meritocracy.
Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to review Classroom of the Elite completely. So let's start. Classroom of the Elite, also known as Yukoso Jitsuryoku Shijo Shugi no Kyushitsu A, is an anime series that has captivated audiences with its gripping narrative, complex characters, and deep psychological drama. Based on the light novel series by Shogo Kinugasa and illustrated by Shunsaku Tomosa, Classroom of the Elite isn't just about a prestigious school or students who aim to rise above the ranks. It's about power, manipulation, human nature, and the harsh realities of competitive society. The show isn't your typical school drama. It takes a deep dive into the dark side of human psychology, social manipulation, and survival within a hierarchical structure. The series excels at presenting a cutthroat school system, where students are ranked based on their academic and social abilities, and only the most strategic and manipulative thrive. Plot overview. The story is set in the Tokyo Metropolitan Advanced Nurturing School, a prestigious institution designed to foster the next generation of Japan's brightest minds. The school operates under a merit-based system where students are assigned to one of 4 classes: A, B, C, or D, with the best students in Class A and the weakest students in Class D. Kiyotaka Ayanokouji, the protagonist, is placed in Class D, a class notorious for housing the failures of the school. At first glance, Kiyotaka seems like an average, emotionless student. However, his intelligence, strategic thinking, and manipulative skills are unparalleled, and he quickly becomes a central figure in the class's struggle to climb the school's social ladder. His interactions with classmates like Suzune Horikita, Kei Karuizawa, and Rokusuke Koenji are crucial in shaping the dynamics of the series. What makes Kiyotaka truly intriguing is his detachment from the world, his indifference to the fate of others, and yet his ability to manipulate those around him for his own benefit. Character development. One of the standout features of Classroom of the Elite is its complex character development. Every character, from the protagonist Kiyotaka to his classmates, is layered with depth, flaws, and contradictions. The anime has a rich cast that continuously evolves as the story progresses. Let's break down some of the key characters. Kiyotaka Ayanokouji. Kiyotaka is the central figure around whom much of the story revolves. His genius and ability to manipulate situations are his defining traits. Raised in isolation and trained in extreme environments, he has learned to see people as tools for his own use. However, his journey through Class D is not just about survival. It's about understanding himself and ultimately learning the value of human connection. While initially appearing emotionless, Kiyotaka gradually reveals a more complex side as he becomes entangled with his classmates. Kei is one of the most interesting characters in the series, undergoing one of the most dramatic transformations. Initially, she is portrayed as a shallow, somewhat superficial girl who relies on her attractiveness and charm to survive. However, when Kiyotaka helps her, she begins to develop a deeper understanding of herself. Kei becomes one of Kiyotaka's most important allies, and her journey is one of emotional discovery and growth. Her relationship with Kiyotaka, initially built on manipulation, evolves into something far more significant. Suzune Horikita, a driven and cold student, Suzune initially comes off as an arrogant individual who believes solely in meritocracy. She sees Kiyotaka as a means to an end and doesn't trust others easily. However, as the series progresses, she undergoes significant growth, learning to trust her classmates and, more importantly, her own abilities. Suzune's development reflects her emotional and social growth as she moves away from isolation and toward collaboration. Kikyo Kushida presents herself as the perfect, friendly, and sociable student, but beneath her cheerful facade lies a much darker side. Driven by a deep fear of rejection and loneliness, Kikyo manipulates others to secure her place in the social hierarchy. Her need for validation leads her to use charm and emotional manipulation, making her a master at controlling her peers. Over time, her true nature is revealed, adding a layer of unpredictability to her character. Kikyo's interactions with Kiyotaka Ayanokouji highlight her struggle to maintain control in a world where her usual social tactics don't always work, making her a fascinating, complex character in the series. Hirata Yusuke is a kind and charismatic student in Classroom of the Elite, known for his leadership qualities and desire to create harmony within Class 1D. He values fairness and strives to help others succeed, making him the moral anchor of the class. However, as the series progresses, Hirata's idealism clashes with the harsh, manipulative environment of the school. His vulnerabilities are exposed as he struggles to balance his values with the need to survive in this ruthless system. His dynamic with Kiyotaka Ayanokouji shows his internal conflict, as he is often manipulated despite his good intentions. Saichaba Shira is the strict and professional homeroom teacher of Class 1D in Classroom of the Elite. She upholds discipline and expects her students to work hard in a competitive environment. While she appears to support the school's ruthless system, she is aware of the manipulative power struggles, especially involving Kiyotaka Ayanokouji. Though she recognizes his intelligence, she doesn't fully trust him. Shabashira's role is complex, as she balances her duties with her personal awareness of the system's flaws, showing moments of empathy while still remaining loyal to her professional responsibilities. Rokusuke Koenji is an eccentric and unpredictable character, often appearing detached and unconcerned about the dynamics of Class D. His arrogant personality and individualistic nature set him apart from the rest of his classmates. However, he's not as oblivious as he seems. Although he appears to be a comic relief character, his strategic intelligence is revealed in subtle ways, and he occasionally plays a pivotal role in the class's development. Ryuen Kakeru is one of the antagonists in the series, representing the darker side of the meritocratic system. He is manipulative, cunning, and willing to go to great lengths to maintain his power within Class D. His rivalry with Kiyotaka becomes one of the central conflicts of the story. Ryuen is a character that thrives on chaos, and his interactions with Kiyotaka highlight the morally ambiguous nature of the show. Themes of the series. Classroom of the Elite explores a wide range of themes, many of which reflect on societal structures and human psychology. Meritocracy and social hierarchy. The school system is built around a meritocratic philosophy where students are ranked based on their academic performance and social status. This creates a rigid structure that forces students to constantly compete against one another. The story examines how this competition impacts the students' relationships and their personal growth. Manipulation and power dynamics. One of the series' most compelling themes is the exploration of manipulation. The students are constantly manipulating each other for their own gain, whether it's to climb the ranks, protect themselves, or achieve their goals. The mental games and strategic planning are key components of the series, and Kiyotaka's expertise in this area makes him both a fascinating and morally ambiguous character. Emotional growth and relationships. Despite the cold and calculated environment, the series also delves into the character's emotional growth. Kiyotaka's relationships with his classmates, especially Kei, force him to confront his own feelings and vulnerabilities. Similarly, characters like Suzune and Kei grow emotionally as they learn to trust and rely on others. Animation and art style. The animation of Classroom of the Elite, produced by Lurch, is one of the most impressive aspects of the series. While the plot and characters take center stage, the animation enhances the tension and atmosphere of the story. Character design and visual representation. The character designs are sleek, detailed, and help convey the personalities of each student. Kiyotaka Ayanokouji's design emphasizes his emotionless and unremarkable nature. He has a simple, almost bland appearance, which matches his desire to avoid drawing attention. However, his sharp eyes often give away his true intelligence and hidden depth. Kei Karuizawa is visually more vibrant, with bright blonde hair and expressive eyes that reflect her outwardly bubbly, yet vulnerable, nature. Suzune Horikita's more angular and sharp design reflects her initial coldness and aloof attitude. Her character evolves visually too, as she begins to soften and open up. Use of color. The use of color in the series is subtle but effective. The muted tones in the backgrounds and character designs create a grounded, realistic environment. The school itself is depicted with clean, almost sterile visuals, which reflect its rigid, meritocratic system. On the other hand, key moments of emotional growth or tension are often highlighted with more vibrant colors to emphasize the significance of the scene. Animation quality. The animation quality in Classroom of the Elite is clean and efficient, though not overly flashy. The studio focuses on creating a sense of tension and suspense through subtle character movements, facial expressions, and camera angles. Psychological tension. The anime's use of close-up shots and sudden cuts enhances the sense of anxiety and tension that runs throughout the series. In high-stakes moments, like during strategic battles, the use of slow motion or dramatic camera angles heightens the drama. Character movement. The characters move naturally, and the fluidity of their actions adds to the realism. Whether it's a casual classroom scene or an intense confrontation, the movement matches the emotional tone of the moment. Background art and symbolism. The backgrounds are simple but serve as metaphors for the students' emotional and social states. The sterile, oppressive atmosphere of Class 1D contrasts with the pristine, almost unreachable aura of Class A, highlighting the social divides within the school. Additionally, the frequent shots of Kiyotaka alone in large, empty spaces visually reflect his isolation and emotional detachment. Similarly, the character development of Kei and Suzune is mirrored in their increasing interactions with others, depicted through visuals that show them gradually stepping out of the shadows. Sound design and music. The sound design and music in Classroom of the Elite are minimalistic yet effective. The soundtrack complements the series' psychological tone with eerie, suspenseful music that builds tension during crucial scenes. The use of silence in key moments amplifies the psychological intensity, while the occasional light-hearted tracks emphasize character growth and personal moments. The opening and ending themes also match the series' tone, providing a perfect blend of dramatic and introspective music. Conclusion. Classroom of the Elite is a masterclass in psychological storytelling and character development. Its exploration of meritocracy, manipulation, and human relationships offers viewers an engaging and thought-provoking experience. At its core, the series is more than just a competition among students. It's about survival in a cutthroat system where every interaction and decision carries weight. The characters are complex and multifaceted, each facing their own internal battles while navigating the ruthless world of Tokyo Metropolitan Advanced Nurturing School. Kiyotaka Ayanokouji, as the stoic and calculating protagonist, is the perfect lens through which to view the moral ambiguities and emotional growth of those around him. His ability to manipulate, observe, and outsmart those around him makes him both an enigmatic and intriguing character. Despite his apparent emotional detachment, his actions reveal deeper layers, showing how his journey is ultimately about understanding his own humanity. While Kiyotaka initially seems cold, his relationship with classmates like Kei Karuizawa and Suzune Horikita reveals his evolution, forcing him to confront the values of friendship, trust, and loyalty. In the end, Kiyotaka's role in the series is more than just that of a manipulator. He is a catalyst for change, not only for his classmates, but also for his own personal growth. Ultimately, Classroom of the Elite is a thrilling psychological drama where intellect and strategy are the ultimate weapons. It's an unpredictable ride that continuously challenges both its characters and its viewers. As the series explores the complex dynamics within the school, it remains a must-watch for fans of high-stakes drama, making it a standout in the genre.